D.L. Hughley just rage-baited Officer Tatum to expose himself. See, Tatum has been out here covering his Nolan Wells situation, pretending like, he's not a tap dancer, pretending like he just wants the truth, when in fact, his real intentions for bringing up how many black kids were on the island and things of that sort was to redirect the attention to black folks and take it away from the white folks that was suspects. And he just exposed his hand, right? And all it took was a little rage bait from D.L. Hughley, okay? So D.L. Hughley responded to Officer Tatum, who has had his name in his mouth the last 2 weeks, right? D.L. Hughley finally gave him the smoke he was waiting for.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me. Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist?
Hold on, Tatum. You can't play that race card, bro. You have said on numerous occasions, racism is no longer a thing. It doesn't exist. So if it's no longer a thing, then D.L. Hughley can't be racist, according to you. Now, D.L. Hughley didn't post a picture of Tatum and his wife to humiliate him. He posted a picture to get a point out. See, Tatum have been out here parading, doing PR work for potential suspects in Nolan Wells' murder, right? Potential suspects. I'm not saying they did it, but they are suspects. So he been out here running PR, disparaging Nolan Wells' mama, calling her a racist, calling her a race hustler, a grifter, when all the mama ever said was, I just want answers. The mama never assigned blame to anybody. The mama never said anybody did it. The mama even says she don't think it's about race, but she can't ignore that component. Tatum called the mama all type of names. So D.L. Hughley is showing people Tatum is doing this because of this context, right? So take whatever he is saying and doing right now in this context as a black man with a white wife. So when he out here, is disparaging a black woman, when he's out here disparaging black folks, when he's out here working counter, right, for Nolan Wells justice, understand why he's doing it or understand who this man is. I think that was fair.
You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this?
The word.
You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotion? You talked of the way Benjamin Crump talks.
Just want to blame white folks. And so I go out there because I know that lame Al Sharpton and Mr. I Can't Read Benjamin Crump is just race hustling, y'all.
You talked about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account about. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s. Black people didn't look for this fight. They want justice. All they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. I don't know what happened.
The older I get is when I realize common sense ain't common no more. Bruh, common sense ain't common, bruh. See, common sense would tell Officer Tatum why people are annoyed by his coverage. But he somewhat don't seem to understand, which I think even that might be a play. He might be lying about him not understanding why black people are annoyed at his coverage. People are annoyed at Officer Tatum because Tatum started off his coverage not with, I don't know what happened, I'm gonna look into it. He started it all off with, there's no evidence of any foul play, y'all lying. And then he got cooked during the Stephen A. Smith debate. And then he slightly adjusted his stance to, well, I can't rule out foul, in a foul play either. I just don't think these white folks did it. And then as recent as today, his stance then elevated again to where he's saying he don't think Nolan Wells drowned and he think Nolan Wells was murdered. He just don't think he was killed by the friends on the boat. So you started off with there's no evidence of foul play to now there is foul play, but you still pretended like black folks was in the wrong. All we're saying is we don't know who did it, but like everybody is a suspect, and we're not ruling out any suspects until somebody is apprehended and arrested. That's our stance. But Tatum comes out because, bro, he's so obsessed with trying to be, I don't know, like the savior for white folks. He's so obsessed trying trying to put on that cape, right? He's willing to do whatever it takes to placate to white supremacists, which is why I think the first person they call is Officer Tatum, right? They could have gone to Nancy Grace. They could have gone to TMZ, which have been pretty neutral. TMZ have been neutral. They could have gone to TMZ, no, but they went to Officer Tatum because they understand Officer Tatum will do whatever it takes. He will lie. He will misconstrue the facts. He will leave things out. He will make edits like he did during the interviews with the friends to make sure that whatever can make these kids look guilty would never come out, opposed to going to somebody, right, with an unbiased lens. So they're not trying to contaminate, right, the interview or the evidence with their biased lens. Tatum didn't do that, right? So because Tatum have changed his stance multiple times, because Tatum continues to disrespect the family and Benjamin Crump, even though Tatum is the one who has changed his stance. Benjamin Crump from day one have says, foul play happened here. We don't know who did it, but we'll find our answers. And because of that, Tatum is calling Benjamin Crump a race hustler, while at the same time saying foul play happened, but it's wrong for us to suspect that the white kids did it. What's wrong with suspecting? Everybody is a suspect. But here's the problem. See, Tatum has a problem with us suspecting the white kids did it, but don't have a problem with us saying foul play happened. You know why? Because he wants to change it. He wants to redirect our focus to the 4 black folks that was on an island of 2,000 people. Less than 1/4 of 1% was black. He wants to direct our attention to them because he now wants to pass the blame to black folks. And he exposed his hand during his live stream.
2015 to 2024, about a 10-year period, 3,000 to 3,500 black Mississippians were killed by black offenders. This mother said 3 scenarios, didn't he? He make sure that's right. He gave 3 stories of alleged impropriety. That seemed like a high number, but he gave 3 stories of impropriety spanning over, 30, 40 years. Just in 10 years, there's 3,000 to 3,500 black people killed by other black people. You tell me what, like when y'all talk about historical context, when you stupid, all that stuff makes sense to you.
Black murderers kill people they have access to. White murderers kill people they have access to. Asian murderers kill people they have access to. And because races usually live near their own, black people kill black people the highest. White people kill white people the highest. Asians kill Asian the highest. That has nothing to do, Tatum, nothing like at all to do with why black folks don't trust Mississippi. Mississippi has a history of victimizing black folks and having no accountability come with the victimization, right? Mississippi has a history of racism. Mississippi has a history of hating black folks. So, excuse me, black folks might be a little suspicious at Mississippi officials coming out a day after Nolan Wells died and says there has been no foul play. A decision that to this day, you all of a sudden disagree with after you got cooked during the Stephen A. Smith debate. So if you disagree and you believe that there was foul play in the Nolan Wells situation, then wouldn't that mean that the black folks who have been on this stance from day one was correct the entire time? See, Mississippi coming out, Ocean Springs coming out and saying, yo, Nolan Wells' death was no foul play. Y'all remember, they came out and said, no foul play. Day one. They was ready to sweep this under the rug. It took Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton, and social media coming together to keep this investigation open. That's what D.L. Hughley is talking about. See, but here's where Tatum makes a mistake, okay? Tatum reveals his hand. Like, all that passive, right? I'm not a racist. I'm just a black conservative who love every man. All that, like, passive stuff goes out the window. Now he reveals his true feelings. Watch how he talks about black folks.
So if you want to play the historical injustice math, it's fair to believe that a black man that's killed could be killed by another black man. How you know the black kids that were out there with Nolan had nothing to do with it? Statistically, historically, it's more likely that he'll be killed by a black person. Ignorant, y'all Negroes, ignorant. I'm tired of being nice to y'all. I hope I don't get in trouble with certain people, but I'm tired of being nice to y'all. I'm sick of y'all low vibration, ignorant Negroes. And y'all stupid on every level. And disproportionately, black people come across as stupider than anybody else, disproportionately.
You can't even get offended at somebody like Tatum disrespecting. Come on, bro. Like, it's Tatum, bro. It's Tatum. Nobody takes Tatum seriously, bro. Tatum is a tap dancer. Tatum will say whatever he got to say, okay, to please white folks. But now he's saying his true feelings. The reason why he kept bringing up, well, there was more people on the island, even though that was not important, because, like, wouldn't more people on the island and Nolan disappearing with 2,000, like, wouldn't that actually prove there's foul play? Because who just disappears on an island of 2,000 people with nobody seeing anything? Now that's out the window now. Now that's out the window. Now Tatum is saying, well, why you're not looking at those black kids? Like, the 4 black kids on an island of 2,000 people, why you're not looking at the black kids? This was his plan all along. See, Tatum, all of a sudden, as lately as like this week, began to adopt the stance there was foul play done. And the reason why he was adopting the stance of foul play was because he wanted to co-opt the movement, take over, right? He wanted people who believes there was foul play to come over to his side. And then he was gonna drag them all the way over to the left side of the aisle and eventually begin to propose the fact that it was Nolan Wells' black friends that killed him, not the white boys. I told y'all. Now, Tatum believes that black folks are dumber than any other race. That's what he just said. Black folks are stupider than any other race, according to Officer Tatum. This is a black man saying this. Yo, some of you guys are so hypnotized by white dollars, y'all are ready to sell y'all butt and your morality and your integrity. Bro, how can you sell your soul in this fashion, homie? I know your wife is white, but them kids is black. You got black kids, bro. And you are willing to sell your soul. Yo, imagine what your black kids would think of you when they turn on this TV or turn on YouTube in let's say 5 years. They turn on YouTube in 5 years when they again, I don't know how old this kids. Let's just say they turn on YouTube when their kid's about 14 years old, right? When they start to get into their consciousness. They turn on YouTube and they see their father calling people who look like him stupid and claiming that those people, all right, are disproportionately dumber or stupider than any other race. Let me explain what he means by disproportionately, okay? He means, for example, if there's 50 million black people, we got a higher percent of stupid people than anybody else. So for example, if there's 60 million black folks, and let's just say 20 million in his world is dumb, 30%. He's saying no other race has 30% of people who are dumb. I'm not even gonna go in how I'm supposed to go in, because you know what, bruh? It's not about any other race, all right? But there's almost impeccable metric to to prove we ain't the dumbest now. We ain't the. But okay.
Social media influencer who failed at football and was a mediocre cop all of a sudden knows more than that. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. But I do know this. You said that a young woman with a pot of water acted so suspiciously that she should be shot by cops.
I think that this is justified, but it could have been avoided, but still justified. You can't throw boiling water on a police officer and not get shot.
But you don't think people that were on a boat with somebody in proximity to somebody and that person come that day acting so suspicious they should be questioned?
Hold on. They were questioned, Stu Head. They talked to the police. This is why y'all ain't never gonna make it in life, man. This is why these people ain't never gonna make it, bro. Like, the only reason I don't totally think black people are completely a lost cause because I grew up around black people. I got black people in my family whom I love. So I have experience with black people who are not completely retarded. But when you look at these people, and I see why white people are sick of y'all. Because if you ain't never met reasonable black people, and you listen to these fools all day, you gotta think black people has gotta be the dumbest people on planet Earth. You have to be biased looking at the stupidity. You think a woman who throwing a hot boiling water on somebody should get shot. That's called deadly force. I don't think she should get shot because she's black. I think she gets shot because it's according to the law. If you're in fear of serious bodily injury or death, which boiling water can cause, then a cop can shoot you. And the only reason this cop got in trouble because he white. And they want to make an example out of this cop. And he was a stewhead by the stuff he said before he ended up having to shoot her, which put him in a position where they will argue that he instigated it. But she threw boiling water at the cops. Go throw boiling water at cops today and see if you don't get smoked and they let you off.
Sonya Massey never threw the water, by the way. You see what I mean when I say, Tatum just lies? Like he just lies. He's just a liar. She never threw the water, right? Sonya Massey was on the couch talking to the officers because, they came into their home because she called them. She was on the couch talking to them. They look at the stove and see a pot on the stove and says, yo, go ahead and turn that off so, things don't burn. She goes, turn off the stove, take the pot of water, lifts it up, right, and puts it, lifts it up and then put it down, right, on the other stove. She was now trying to move the pot of water to the sink, I believe, right? Now, again, this lady is mentally ill. That's why she called them. She began to rebuke him. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now, I don't know she obviously seen something. She obviously seen these devils was in her house to murder her, right? So as she's saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, she lifts up the pot to put it in the sink and they shoot and kill her while calling her the B word. No water touched them at all. At all. Now, the officer got 20 years. Tatum said the officer did nothing wrong. But now y'all see how Tatum feel about us, and now y'all see his real intentions in covering this Nolan Wells case. It was always to deflect the blame to those innocent black, I'll be real, right? I'll be real, all right? Tristan is half black. We gotta watch Tristan. Tristan, he's a nefarious character to me. Tristan is the black friend that Tatum interviewed, where he started talking about how his white side have always done more for him than the black side, how Benjamin Crump is a race hustler, just all type of nonsense, bro. So maybe you gotta look at Tristan. I don't know, okay? But man, them black kids is less than a fourth of a 1% of the people on that island, bro. Leave them out of this. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen to find out why DJ Academics had a meltdown and crashed out last night. I'm going to see you guys in this Academics video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.